So if you ever go online and you look up this company, mgmcompro.com, you'll know what's inside this box. Y'all might call me crazy for what size motor this is. Alright, let's go ahead and take this off here. That's basically what you get silver coins in. Look at this little beauty. This is a Lenher 1535 high amp motor. So I originally got this to like compare. Look at that. I swear for God, that is, I don't know if that's a 5mm shaft or an 8mm shaft. Oh my God, this is so crazy, dude. Oh man, I don't know what kind of amps this thing is gonna pull, but it is gonna be absolutely bonkers. It's got the cooling fan on it. I don't even remember if I specified ordering the cooling fan. I think I didn't, but maybe the cooling fan comes as part of the high amp. I don't know. But so this is, I believe you would consider it a D7. Now that ends up being somewhere like 3,550 kV. I looked at the cost of like a bigger motor and they were out freaking rageous. And when you consider like a rocket motor, 60 bucks, a TP motor, $110, and then you get this, 330. That's crazy, right? That is crazy. Then you got Tenshock. Tenshock comes out with these silver lined motors, which I actually have one of those coming, and it kV value, I tried to get it 3550 to be equivalent to this, but it's 3460. They couldn't make an in-between. So and then I really thought about getting a Steve New 29mm motor and then compare all these crazy expensive motors to one another. Now, why did I get 29mm? Well, my first thought was maybe I could put it in the Shrimp. But what I might do is I might get like a middle hydroplane or maybe a middle-sized rigger and put this in the rigger. Now, I do have the big rigger kit over here, and I could build that and put such a small motor in it, but I don't think that's the right direction. I think the right direction would be to buy like an outrigger that is the next size bigger than the Shrimp. But I just wanted to show y'all this cool little motor, and I don't really know. I'm afraid to put this in the Shrimp because if the Shrimp sinks, then a $32 boat kit and a $300 motor goes down the drain. I don't really know what to put it in, but I wanted high performance, high end in motors that were small enough to put in anything. And this thing might be nuts. I may have to use like the Castle Hydra X8S for something like this. Alright, so I'm going to have to jump in here mid talking about that Lenher motor because the other one showed up and it's in this box. Actually, I had 3 packages. One was for the fuel for the toy end motor. So we're going to try that, but that'll be for another motor. That'll be for another video. So to go along with the Lenher motor, I got this bad boy here. Now we also got this here, and we'll talk about that here shortly. So this is a Tenshock that is a 29mm Tenshock motor. So this one is a 3450, where the other one is, the Lenher is a 3560. So they're going to be really, really close to one another as far as performance-wise, kV value and whatnot. But I decided to go with 3,500 kV, trying to make everything, you know, fairly equal to one another till we can do a pretty good comparison. But I ordered this straight from Tenshock. So it took me about a month for me to get this one. It took me 3 months to get the Lenher motor because that one had to be custom made. But this will be cool. All silver windings. I feel like for what they are, they're such a new manufacturer. You know, I've had my fair share of mediocre luck with Tenshock in the past, but I feel like with anything, especially new stuff, new technology coming to the hobby, you got to have beta testers. And although I'm not getting anything from free from Tenshock, I think that it is good to at least try them. Now, if we come over here to this motor, let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. Now I wanna hold off for a second, and here we go. So we already have one Tenshock motor, right? And if you are aware of this, this was the 2100 kV. They list them now as 2150s, and this the rotor failed in it. Okay, and I don't really think it's so much, you know, to bash on them. It's probably me putting too much to it, too much voltage, too much prop, whatever the case may be. I never really had high temps, but you know, running 6S, just, it is what it is. If you want to know about that, watch that video. Now, since this has happened, I had sent them probably half a dozen emails. Well, they have recently came out with this motor here. Let's go ahead. I want you to read the back of this. This is an Evo 2260 HP 1750. And this one is an Evo 2260. So the difference is this one is HP, high power. So what I can notice from the get-go is this. If we look at the back end of these motors, see how this one is like solid silver? And then this one, you can actually see the windings in it. See the difference between the two? So they're the same size, 2100 kV, and this one 1750 kV. Now I had specified that I would like it to be 1900 kV. I don't know if they made that adjustment. If they did, I'll put it on the screen, but I'll have to look back through the paperwork to see if they changed the kV value. But I wanted to get a 1900 kV. To me, it was like a step down from the 2100 and not so far of a drastic drop to a 1750. But I don't know if they did that and listened to what it is I put in my notes. Secondly, we had an issue with this, with the cooling nipples coming off, because they were literally pressed and glued in. Now, I had taken the liberty of taking it and threading and tapping and putting different nipples in it. Well, Tenshock paid attention to that too. So with the HP motor, they went ahead and they did just that. They threaded it and they tapped it, and they've got brand new nipples. And these have double barb. So it looks like you can put one size cooling on it, or you can put a larger size cooling tube on it, which I actually really like. So we shouldn't have any issues with these cooling nipples coming out. But this will be a cool motor to test. And I don't know if there's any difference as far as the rotor is concerned on the inside. We will know more as time goes on. But the amount of power that these motors put out is second to none compared to anything else I've run. So I wanted to give them one more chance to see. And I love the fact that they came out with an HP, a high-powered version. So this one is going to be really, really cool. So if we hold them together, we've got the Tenshock and we've got the Lenher, or the Lenher, whatever you want to call it. And these motors are equally the same size. Equally the same size. And within 100 kV of one another. So what did I say this was? This is a 3450 kV, and this one is a 3560 kV, I believe. But it's going to be really cool. Going to be really cool comparison. Small motors, expensive motors, but I'm doing this for y'all. I'm doing this for me. I love to test new things, part of the hobby, and I know not everybody can afford stuff like this, so we're just going to do it together, you know. Kind of crazy, that's a 5mm shaft. I'm not really sure. I'll have to mic this out and spec this out, but we've got some really cool high-end quality motors here, even though they're small. I think they're going to pack a wallop. Now another thing I like about this motor, they took the liberty and they went ahead and flattened the shaft. That's really, really nice, because on this one they did not, and I had to cut the groove on it. So it looks like the new high-powered version actually has a longer shaft on it if we look at that. But and secondly, another thing I noticed with this is they put screws in the back bell housing, so it's not just pressed on, it's threaded on. And maybe they have bigger bullets. I think these might be bigger than 5.5s, I'm not sure, but it doesn't really matter. That'll be for a future video. I just wanted to kind of show y'all the motors that I have gotten in recently. I've ordered these 3 months ago in total, 3 months ago and 1 month ago. And Tenshock has really, really good customer service as far as reaching out to people who has questions and stuff like that, and answering them. Because when I ordered these, they reached back out and they wanted to say, hey, what are you putting this in? What kind of voltage are you going to run? Yada, yada, yada. So they want to make sure that they take care of you. As far as this is concerned, that's probably, you know, on me. But we'll see what happens with this. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back into this. So this is the SSS 2960. If we hold it side by side, it's pretty much the same size as that. It's pretty much the same size as the 2960 if you add the length of the can. Alright, so let's go ahead and weigh this and just see. Alright, so let's weigh the Lehner motor. Okay. 192 grams. Now this doesn't have wires coming out of it, so we got to compensate for that. Here, make an exception. So 192, 187 with these wires and connections. So we could say maybe how many grams would that be? Maybe we'll call that 180. And then we've got the rocket motor over here, the very common 4,000 kV 2968. So 191. And comparing the lengths of just the motor itself, you can see how much longer that the rocket is. So this is probably like a 2958. And that motor weighs 191 with the wires. And this motor weighs 195 without wires. So this motor is heavier. Like, it feels heavy in my hand. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay. I don't want to go into any more detail until I look into it. I will put up on the screen what the kV value was, and you will know that. But I know a lot of y'all think are going to say, oh man, you crazy for spending that kind of money. But hey man, you only live once. You know what I mean? You know, and my other YouTube channel is doing well enough to where I can do stuff like this. I just want to play. And you got to pay to play. And for me, it's not so much of that. It's, I want to test things. I want to see what stuff is capable of. And yeah, you can buy stuff off eBay, but this right here is a legitimate motor company, just like Steve News. You go look at his motors. His motors are $300. So I think that's what we might do. I think we might put a little head-to-head challenge on some 29mm motors. I think it would be cool. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I just want to share it with you. I was super excited. I've been waiting for this thing. Part of me thought that I lost my money, but it was great to see that it actually arrived. So I'm going to go ahead and button it all back up and put it all back in its little carrying case, because it's probably worth its weight in silver, to be completely honest with you, if not more. Thank y'all for watching.